1. What's the purpose of the yellow lines painted across the road? To keep the area clear of traffic. To make you aware of your speed. To show a safe distance between vehicles. To warn you to change direction. Correct answer. To make you aware of your speed. Explanation. These lines may be painted on the road on the approach to a roundabout, a village or a particular hazard. The lines are raised and painted yellow, and their purpose is to make you aware of your speed. Reduce your speed in good time so that you avoid having to brake harshly over the last few meters before reaching the junction. 2. What's the main hazard the driver of the red car, arrowed, should be aware of? Glare from the sun may affect the driver's vision. Oncoming vehicles will assume the driver is turning right. The black car may stop suddenly. The bus may move out into the road. Correct answer. The bus may move out into the road. Explanation. If you can do so safely, give way to buses signaling to move off at bus stops. Try to anticipate the actions of other road users around you. The driver of the red car should be prepared for the bus pulling out. As you approach a bus stop, look to see how many passengers are waiting to board. If the last one has just got on, the bus is likely to move off. 3. You're in a built-up area at night and the road is well lit. Why should you use dipped headlights? So that you can be easily seen by others. So that you can go at a much faster speed. So that you can see further along the road. So that you can switch to main beam quickly. Correct answer. So that you can be easily seen by others. Explanation. You may be difficult to see when you're traveling at night, even on a well-lit road. If you use dipped headlights rather than side lights, other road users should be able to see you more easily. 4. Why should you reduce your speed when you're driving or riding in fog? It's more difficult to see what's ahead. The brakes don't work as well. The engine will take longer to warm up. You will be dazzled by other headlights. Correct answer. It's more difficult to see what's ahead. Explanation. You won't be able to see as far ahead in fog as you can on a clear day. You will need to reduce your speed so that, if a hazard looms out of the fog, you have the time and space to take avoiding action. Traveling in fog is hazardous. If you can, try to delay your journey until it has cleared. 5. Why should you use your mirrors when you see a hazard ahead? Because you'll need to accelerate out of danger. Because you'll need to brake sharply and stop. To assess how your actions will affect the traffic behind. To check what's happening on the road ahead. Correct answer. To assess how your actions will affect the traffic behind. Explanation. You should be constantly scanning the road for clues about what's going to happen next. Check your mirrors regularly, particularly as soon as you spot a hazard. What's happening behind may affect how you respond to hazards ahead. 6. What helps to reduce traffic bunching on a motorway? Contraflow systems. Lane closures. National speed limits. Variable speed limits. Correct answer. Variable speed limits. Explanation. Congestion can be reduced by keeping traffic at a constant speed. At busy times, maximum speed limits are displayed on overhead gantries. These can be varied quickly, depending on the amount of traffic. By keeping to a constant speed on busy sections of motorway, overall journey times are normally improved. 7. Which sign shows that a tanker is carrying dangerous goods? A, B, C, D. Correct answer, B. Explanation. Tankers will display a hazard warning plate on the side and rear of the vehicle. Details of hazard warning symbols are given in the highway code. If a tanker is involved in a collision, you may need to report the tanker's hazard labeling to the emergency services. 8. At night, What does it mean if you see a pedestrian wearing reflective clothing and carrying a bright red light? You're approaching a slow-moving vehicle. You're approaching a traffic danger spot. You're approaching an organized walk. You're approaching roadworks. Correct answer: you're approaching an organized walk. Explanation: the people on the walk should be keeping to the left, but don't assume this. Pass carefully, making sure you have time to do so safely. Be aware that the pedestrians have their backs to you and may not know that you're there. 9. What does it mean if the signs at a bus lane show no times of operation? The lane is in operation 24 hours a day. The lane is only in operation at peak times. The lane is only in operation in daylight hours. The lane isn't in operation. Correct answer: the lane is in operation 24 hours a day. Explanation: bus lane signs show the vehicles allowed to use the lane and its times of operation. Where no times are shown, the bus lane is in operation 24 hours a day. 10. You're invited to a pub lunch. What should you do if you know that you'll have to drive in the evening? Avoid mixing your alcoholic drinks. Don't drink any alcohol at all. Eat a hot meal with your alcoholic drinks. Have some milk before drinking alcohol. Correct answer: don't drink any alcohol at all. Explanation: alcohol will stay in your body for several hours and may make you unfit to drive later in the day. Drinking during the day will also affect your performance at work or study. When you're driving in a slow-moving queue of traffic, what should you do just before changing lane? Change down to first gear. Give a slowing down arm signal. Look for motorcyclists filtering through the traffic. Sound the horn and flash your lights. Correct answer: look for motorcyclists filtering through the traffic. Explanation: in queuing traffic, motorcyclists could be passing you on either side. Use your mirrors and check your blind area before changing lanes or changing direction. 2. You're waiting at a T-junction. What should you do if a vehicle is coming from the right, with its left indicator flashing? Move out and accelerate hard. Move out slowly. Pull out before the vehicle reaches the junction. Wait until the vehicle starts to turn in. Correct answer: wait until the vehicle starts to turn in. Explanation: other road users may give misleading signals. When you're waiting at a junction, don't emerge until you're sure of their intentions. 3. What should you do if your vehicle has a puncture on a motorway? Drive slowly to the next service area to get assistance. Pull up on the hard shoulder or in an emergency refuge area and call for assistance. Pull up on the hard shoulder or in an emergency refuge area. Change the wheel as quickly as possible. Switch on your hazard warning lights. Stop in your lane. Correct answer: pull up on the hard shoulder or in an emergency refuge area and call for assistance. Explanation: pull up on the hard shoulder or in an emergency refuge area and call for assistance. Don't attempt to repair your vehicle while it's on the hard shoulder, because of the risk posed by traffic passing at high speeds. 4. You're driving along a country road. You see this sign. What should you do after dealing safely with the hazard? Accelerate briskly. Check your tire pressures. Switch on your hazard warning lights. Test your brakes. Correct answer: test your brakes. Explanation: if your brakes have been thoroughly soaked, you should check that they are working properly before you build up speed again. Before you do this, remember to check your mirrors and consider what's behind you. 5. When would you increase the pressure in your tires so that it's above the normal value? When carrying a heavy load. When the roads are slippery. When the tire tread is worn below 2 mm. When the vehicle is fitted with anti-lock brakes. Correct answer: when carrying a heavy load. Explanation: check the vehicle handbook. This should give you guidance on the correct tire pressures for your vehicle and when you may need to adjust them. If you're carrying a heavy load, you may need to adjust the headlights as well. Most cars have a switch on the dashboard to do this. 6. What will happen if your car's wheels are unbalanced? The brakes will fail. The steering will pull to one side. The steering will vibrate. The tires will deflate. Correct answer: the steering will vibrate. Explanation: if your wheels are out of balance, it will cause the steering to vibrate at certain speeds. This isn't a fault that will put itself right, so take your vehicle to a garage or tire fitter to have the wheels rebalaced. 7. How can you use your vehicle's engine to control your speed? By changing to a higher gear. By changing to a lower gear. By selecting neutral. By selecting reverse gear. Correct answer: by changing to a lower gear. Explanation: you should brake and slow down before selecting a lower gear. The gear can then be used to keep the speed low and help you control the vehicle. This is particularly helpful on long downhill stretches, where brake fade can occur if the brakes overheat. 8. What should you do when leaving your vehicle parked and unattended? Leave the left indicator on. Lock it and remove the key. Park in a housing estate. Park near a busy junction. Correct answer: lock it and remove the key. Explanation: an unlocked car is an open invitation to thieves. Leaving the keys in the ignition not only makes your car easy to steal but could also invalidate your insurance. 9. You're driving on a motorway at night. Which lights should you have on if there are other vehicles just ahead of you? Dipped headlights. Front fog lights. Main beam headlights. Side lights only. Correct answer: dipped headlights. Explanation: if you're driving behind other traffic on the motorway at night, use dipped headlights. Main beam headlights will dazzle the other drivers. Your headlights' dipped beam should fall short of the vehicle in front. 10. You're driving on the motorway. Which lane should you get into well before you reach your exit? The hard shoulder. The left-hand lane. The middle lane. The right-hand lane. Correct answer: the left-hand lane. Explanation: you'll see the first advance direction sign 1 mile from a motorway exit. If you're traveling at 60 miles per hour in the right-hand lane, you'll only have about 50 seconds before you reach the countdown markers. There'll be another sign at the half-mile point. Don't cut across lanes of traffic at the last moment. Move to the left-hand lane in good time. 11. What must you do if your eyesight has become very poor and you're no longer able to meet the driver's eyesight requirements? Tell the driver licensing authority. Tell the police. Tell your doctor. Tell your optician. Correct answer: tell the driver licensing authority. Explanation: having very poor eyesight will have a serious effect on your ability to drive safely. If you can't meet the driver's eyesight requirements, you must tell DVLA, or DVA in Northern Ireland. 12. Why should drivers be more careful on roads where trams also operate? Because trams can't steer to avoid obstructions. Because trams can't stop for cars. Because trams don't have a horn. Because trams don't have lights. Correct answer: because trams can't steer to avoid obstructions. Explanation: you should take extra care when you first encounter trams. You'll have to get used to dealing with a different traffic system. Be aware that trams can accelerate and travel very quickly, and they can't change direction to avoid obstructions. 13. What should you do when you leave your car unattended for a few minutes? Leave the engine running. Lock it and remove the key. Park near a traffic warden. Switch the engine off but leave the key in. Correct answer, lock it and remove the key. Explanation, always switch off the engine, remove the key and lock your car, even if you're only leaving it for a few minutes. 14. What should you do to reduce the risk of your vehicle catching fire? Avoid driving with a full tank of fuel. Check out any strong smell of fuel. Keep water levels above maximum. Use fuel additives. Correct answer, check out any strong smell of fuel. Explanation, the fuel in your vehicle can be a dangerous fire hazard. If you smell fuel, check out where it's coming from. Never use a naked flame near the vehicle if you can smell fuel. Smoke when refueling your vehicle. 15. You're driving a car that has a diesel engine. What can a loose filler cap on your fuel tank cause? It can improve your vehicle's fuel consumption. It can increase the level of exhaust emissions. It can make the engine difficult to start. It can make the road slippery for other road users. Correct answer, it can make the road slippery for other road users. Explanation, diesel fuel can spill out if your filler cap isn't secured properly. This is most likely to occur on bends, junctions and roundabouts, where it will make the road slippery, especially if it's wet. At the end of a spell of dry weather, road surfaces may be especially slippery where diesel has been spilled but it hasn't been washed away by rain. 16. You're driving past parked cars. What should you do if you see a bicycle wheel sticking out between the cars? Accelerate past quickly and sound your horn, brake sharply and flash your headlights, slow down and be prepared to stop for a cyclist, slow down and wave the cyclist across. Correct answer, slow down and be prepared to stop for a cyclist. Explanation, scan the road as you drive. Try to anticipate hazards by being aware of the places where they're likely to occur. You'll then be able to react in good time. 17. What would you expect to find at a contraflow system on a motorway? Lower speed limits. Road humps. Temporary traffic lights. Wider lanes than normal. Correct answer, lower speed limits. Explanation, when approaching a contraflow system, reduce speed in good time and obey all speed limits. You may be traveling in a narrower lane than normal, with no permanent barrier between you and the oncoming traffic. Be aware that the hard shoulder may be used for traffic and the road ahead could be obstructed by slow-moving or broken-down vehicles. 18. Are passengers allowed to ride in a caravan that's being towed? No, not at any time. Only if a stabilizer is fitted. Only if all the seats in the towing vehicle are full. Yes, if they are over 14. Correct answer, no, not at any time. Explanation, riding in a towed caravan is highly dangerous. The safety of the entire unit is dependent on the stability of the trailer. Moving passengers would make the caravan unstable and could cause loss of control. 19. Which driving technique can help you save fuel? Accelerating sharply in each gear. Missing out some gears. Using each gear in turn. Using lower gears as often as possible. Correct answer, missing out some gears. Explanation, missing out intermediate gears, when appropriate, helps to reduce the amount of time spent accelerating and decelerating the times when your vehicle uses the most fuel. 20. You're leaving your vehicle parked on a road and unattended. When may you leave the engine running? If the battery keeps going flat. If you'll be parking for less than 5 minutes. Never if you're away from the vehicle. When parked in a 20 miles per hour zone. Correct answer, never if you're away from the vehicle. Explanation, when you leave your vehicle parked on a road, switch off the engine and secure the vehicle. Make sure no valuables are visible, shut all the windows, lock the vehicle, and set the alarm if the vehicle has one. 1. Which vehicle will use a blue flashing beacon? Bomb disposal, breakdown recovery, motorway maintenance, snowplow. Correct answer, bomb disposal. Explanation: emergency vehicles use blue flashing lights. If you see or hear one, move out of its way as soon as it's safe and legal to do so. 2. Why must you take great care when emerging from this junction? The footpath is narrow. The curbs are high. The road surface is poor. The view is restricted. Correct answer, the view is restricted. Explanation: you may have to pull forward slowly until you can see up and down the road. Be aware that the traffic approaching the junction can't see you either. If you don't know that it's clear, don't go. 3. You're approaching a roundabout. What should you do if a cyclist ahead is signaling to turn right? Give a warning with your horn. Give the cyclist plenty of room. Overtake on the right. Signal the cyclist to move across. Correct answer: give the cyclist plenty of room. Explanation: if you're following a cyclist who's signaling to turn right at a roundabout, leave plenty of room. Give them space and time to get into the correct lane. 4. You're following a long vehicle approaching a crossroads. What should you do if the driver signals right but moves close to the left-hand curb? Overtake on the right-hand side. Report the driver to the police. Wait behind the long vehicle. Warn the driver about the wrong signal. Correct answer: wait behind the long vehicle. Explanation: when a long vehicle is going to turn right, it may need to keep close to the left-hand curb. This is to prevent the rear end of the trailer cutting the corner. You need to be aware of how long vehicles behave in such situations. Don't overtake the lorry, because it could turn as you're alongside. Stay behind and wait for it to turn. 5. You're joining a motorway from a slip road. How should you deal with traffic already on the motorway? Carry on along the hard shoulder until you see a safe gap. Match your speed to traffic in the left-hand lane and filter into a safe gap. Stop at the end of the slip road and look for a safe gap. Use the slip road to accelerate until you're moving much faster than the motorway traffic. Correct answer: match your speed to traffic in the left-hand lane and filter into a safe gap. Explanation: you should give way to traffic already on the motorway. Where possible, traffic may move over to let you in, but don't force your way into the traffic stream. Traffic could be traveling at high speed, so try to match your speed to filter in without affecting the traffic flow. 6. Which vehicle is most likely to take an unusual course at a roundabout? Delivery van, estate car, long vehicle, milk float. Correct answer: long vehicle. Explanation: long vehicles might have to take a slightly different position when approaching the roundabout or going around it. This is to stop the rear of the vehicle cutting in and mounting the curb. 7. What does this sign mean? No entry, no parking, no road markings, no through road. Correct answer: no entry. Explanation: no entry signs are used in places such as one-way streets to prevent vehicles driving against the traffic. To ignore one would be dangerous, both for yourself and for other road users, as well as being against the law. 8. What does this sign mean? Parking for buses only. Parking for trams only. Route for buses only. Route for trams only. Correct answer: route for trams only. Explanation: avoid blocking tram routes. Trams are fixed on their route and can't maneuver around other vehicles or pedestrians. Modern trams travel quickly and are quiet, so you might not hear them approaching. 9. What does this sign mean? Clearway, no stopping. National speed limit applies. Waiting permitted. Waiting restrictions apply. Correct answer, waiting restrictions apply. Explanation, there'll be a plate or additional sign to tell you when the restrictions apply. 10. What's the meaning of this traffic sign? Bus lane ahead. End of two-way road. Give priority to vehicles coming towards you. You have priority over vehicles coming towards you. Correct answer, you have priority over vehicles coming towards you. Explanation, don't force your way through. Show courtesy and consideration to other road users. Although you have priority, make sure oncoming traffic is going to give way before you continue. 11. What does this sign mean? Beware of trains. Beware of trams. Level crossing. Tourist attraction. Correct answer, tourist attraction. Explanation, these signs indicate places of interest and are designed to guide you by the easiest route. They are particularly useful when you're unfamiliar with the area. 12. What does this sign mean? Give way. No through road. T-junction. Turn left ahead. Correct answer, T-junction. Explanation, this type of sign warns you of hazards ahead. Make sure you look at each sign and road marking that you pass, so that you don't miss any vital instructions or information. This sign shows there's a T-junction with priority over vehicles from the right. 13. What does this sign mean? Adverse camber. Steep hill downwards. Steep hill upwards. Uneven road. Correct answer, steep hill downwards. Explanation, this sign gives you an early warning that the road ahead will slope downhill. Prepare to alter your speed and gear. Looking at the sign from left to right will show you whether the road slopes uphill or downhill. 14. You're in the left-hand lane at traffic lights, waiting to turn left. Which signal means you must wait? A, B, C, D. Correct answer, A. Explanation, at some junctions, there may be separate signals for different lanes. These are called filter lights. They're designed to help traffic flow at major junctions. Make sure that you're in the correct lane and proceed if the way is clear and the green light shows for your lane. 15. Where would you see this road marking? At a box junction. At traffic lights. Near a level crossing. On road humps. Correct answer, on road humps. Explanation, because the road has a dark color, changes in level aren't easily seen. White triangles painted on the road surface give you an indication of where there are road humps. 16. What does this sign mean? End of bus lane. End of motorway. No motor vehicles. No through road. Correct answer, end of motorway. Explanation, when you leave the motorway, make sure that you check your speedometer. You may be going faster than you realize. Slow down and look for speed limit signs. 17. Which type of crossing allows cyclists to ride across while pedestrians are also crossing? Pelican. Puffin. Toucan. Zebra. Correct answer, toucan. Explanation, a toucan crossing is designed to allow pedestrians and cyclists to cross at the same time. Look out for cyclists approaching the crossing at speed. 18. What's a cover note? A document issued before you receive your MO certificate. A document issued before you receive your driving license. A document issued before you receive your insurance certificate. A document issued before you receive your registration document. Correct answer, a document issued before you receive your insurance certificate. Explanation, sometimes an insurance company will issue a temporary insurance certificate called a cover note. It gives you the same insurance cover as your certificate but lasts for a limited period, usually 1 month. 19. You're turning right at a crossroads. An oncoming driver is also turning right. What's the advantage of turning behind the oncoming vehicle? You'll be able to turn without stopping. You'll have a clearer view of any approaching traffic. You'll have more time to turn. You'll use less fuel because you can stay in a higher gear. Correct answer: you'll have a clearer view of any approaching traffic. Explanation: when turning right at a crossroads where oncoming traffic is also turning right, it's generally safer to turn behind the approaching vehicle. This allows you a clear view of approaching traffic and is called turning offside to offside. However, some junctions, usually controlled by traffic light filters, are marked for vehicles to turn near side to near side. 20. What should the driver of the red car, arrowed, do? Quickly drive behind the pedestrian in the road. Tell the pedestrian in the road she shouldn't have crossed. Wait for the pedestrian in the road to cross. Wave towards the pedestrians who are waiting to cross. Correct answer: wait for the pedestrian in the road to cross. Explanation: some people might take a long time to cross the road. They may be older or have a disability. Be patient and don't hurry them by showing your impatience. If pedestrians are standing at the side of the road, don't signal or wave them to cross. Other road users might not have seen your signal and this could lead the pedestrians into a hazardous situation.